you've been drinking straight probably since last Thursday. Drinking is the only thing that makes you feel just okay. It keeps the trigger finger off the trigger in the bay. Your mind can only think about the things it shouldn't. Your brain is filled with thoughts of wishing that you didn't. Little Sarah, perk your ears up, try to listen, but she can't hear a sound because she's locked in a prison. She can barely see the pavement, she can barely read the signs. People think she's complicated, but never wanna look inside. She's a little too R-rated, never a little too damn blind. She's just looking for angels, but they're a little hard to find.
Work really, really hard to get a result. So I don't think you're going to have as much freedom as he bounds over the curbs there to make a decisive move. I think with the way that the Townsville circuit is, as we exit stage left, you're going to have to really be, you've got a lot of opportunity to fight for your position. So I think, yeah, Dane will want to take the whole shot if he can.
I suppose we will see how it goes. Here is the
Sunday mornings were your favorite. I used to meet you down on Woods Creek Road. You did your hair up like you were famous, even though it's only church where we were going.
Now, missed the start, so get some practice in, I guess.
Pit exit looks good. You exceeded the track limit. This lap is invalid. What's the track limit? Caution. Clear. Caution flag is out.
You must be super economical, Pickles, while you're going this fast.
Should that be his second pit stop?
He's cut it almost in half if it is his second pit stop. So that's going to be a very long run to the finish, as you say. Well, I guess we'll wait and see what the outcome is. I'm just trying to figure out. So about 38 seconds we reckon for the pit transit. So at the moment, when Liam Budd pits, we would expect to see him come out around 12th or 13th place, which really isn't too bad. It's still ahead of where he started the race, and he would obviously have a lot fresher tyres than the cars around him. He does. I hope some of these drivers realise that they have to make 2 stops, so there's no point pushing to try to 1-stop it, because it's like running 2 compounds in F1. It's like, well, great, you managed to make the hards last the entire race. You still need to stop at some stage. And put another tyre compound on, another fuel compound. You need to swap from 98 to 91 midway through the race in order to be classified. It's an absolutely terrible idea.
That would be quite something.
Luke Rosella gap down to under 2 seconds between himself and Dane Warren now. Last time around, again, he was 0.6 of a second faster than the second Warren brother running in this race. So quite decent pace for Luke Rosella at the moment.
And there's about 3 laps worth of tyre difference between the two of them at the moment. So if this pace continues, we should see Luke looking to make a move at the end of maybe next lap or the lap after. It's going to get close very quickly. But the fastest man on track at the moment is actually Kurt Stenberg, who last lap set a 11.8, so the only man in the 11s at the moment. So he's trying to chase down Colin Warwick. That gap was about 5 seconds at the end of the pit stop, so he's lost a bit, but he's gained a bit back, and we'll see how that transpires for him.
Okay. I'll get on the blower to stairs and get him to make us an AWS analysis graphic showing, the car chasing and when what lap he expects to be in striking distance. I'm sure that's something that's easy for Stairs to cook up. I'm sure.
Yeah, piece of cake, right?
I remember. I think it was one of the first Liberty races I watched live with Stairs and our friend Bagsy, and we were discussing at the time Apex Rear Wing were doing sort of various F1 events, and Stairs was having a lot of fun recreating the F1 graphics from those particular eras. And a graphic showed up which showed, you know, it was the regular, shows the throttle input, the brake input, but it also had the steering input, and it had like little animated steering wheels turning as they went through the corners. And Stairs was just, oh yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing a 2021 Formula One style graphics package, are we? And it's there's a lot of work that goes into these graphics packages, so it was purely in jest. Stairs, before you have a heart attack. I don't expect an AWS graphic. He wasn't going to do it anyway, as the gap has come down to, as I've been waffling, the gap has come down to about a second between Dane Warren and Luke Rosella, so just continuing to reel that one in. Liam Budd loses another position, still running on his original tyres and fuel allotment.
So I was a little bit confused for a moment, as he looks like he's trying to make a pass on Corey McFarlane for a moment there, because Zach Baker was between Liam Budd and Corey McFarlane, but he actually had a moment coming through the chicane and hit the tyre wall and lost something like 15, 16 seconds, only a lap or two ago. So I'm not sure if we can get a replay on that. It would have been about 2 laps ago, but a bit of a moment for Baker there, and he's lost out because of it.
Sorry to cut across you. We've got Ethan Warren coming in for his second pit stop on lap 20. So race leader into the pits. And Luke Rosella, and Dane Warren as well into the pits. So I was confused there. I thought Luke Rosella had made the position on Dane Warren, which he has, but as a result of a pit stop. So both the Warrens into the pits, first and second. I guess we'll see if anyone else opts to make the dive.
I think the next one on that list has to be Zach Baker, because he's absolutely destroying those rear tyres at the moment. He actually was just about to lose a position to Lockie Burke, but Burke's coming to the pits as well.
Yep, so Zach has continued around for another lap. Got a yellow flag somewhere. Oh, and it looks like it's David Nedidich. There he is on the right-hand side of the screen there. Looks like he's looped it coming through turn 5, turn 6.
Turn 6, yeah. Few more.
Lachlan Burke and Turmo into the pits as well.
So is Nedidich in a safe space? He looks like he's just trawling through the runoff at the moment, and is he going to try and get that car back to the pits? Looks like he might be able to.
It doesn't look like it's moving particularly well. I reckon he might have had a pretty hefty impact with the wall, because that car is not.
Not tracking right.
No, it doesn't look like it. Dane Warren has actually come out of the pits once again with a car between himself and his brother, the car being Zach Baker. As we see Zach Baker's teammate on screen, making his way back to the pits. Quite slowly, it must be said. I hope no one tries to rush into the pits behind him, because they're going to come up against a rear bumper, and it looks like a claim bite is coming into the pits. Hopefully he realises that there's a slow-moving car ahead of him. Dane Warren coming up behind Zach Baker now.
So I think this would be pretty quick, easy pickings for Dane Warren, considering the tyre condition of Zach Baker. As we're catching a replay of what happened to Nedidich. Way too much curb at turn 6. He just got both sets of tyres over the curb and looped it around. That's quite unfortunate for Dave, but yeah, if you just take that just back a little bit, you can see that he got actually his inside tyres over the curb as well. So basically all 4 tyres over the curb on the entry, and then yeah, that was all she wrote.
And then, yeah, that's where we picked up the images of him reversing across the road. There's Luke Rosella going through. So that would be where the damage happened, I would posit. The point when car hit wall, I would say the series of events led to this. Was the car going off the track and then hitting the wall and then doing itself some damage. And in fact, David Nedidich has now DNF'd from the race, so it must have been some pretty severe damage, unfortunately, there for this EB racing driver.
We've got a car off in turn 1, and it's Lockie Burke. Sorry, Mad Bird. He's just gone deep and he's gone dropped down to 13th. He'd just come out of the pits a lap or two ago, so he's actually dropped positions, I think, to Cameron Parrott and maybe even Brandon Dostal, although that would have been quite a long off if that was the case. And he's looking like he's struggling with the rear of that car at the moment as he comes through turns 5 and 6. And in fact, go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say Corey McFarlane has come into the pits and is now on the move once again as we see a replay of that. Sort of a bit of a sad like outbreaking himself. It's that sort of, you know, when you're falling over and there's nothing you can do to stop it, but it's not really a dramatic fall. You're just sort of like, it looked like he had about 4 or 5 bites at it, being like, I can make, I can probably make, better not, and then it just decided to use the runoff area, and it was not the most glamorous accident I've ever seen. I reckon he can do better than that. As Colin Warwick is coming into the pits. That's a challenge. Get out there, Lockie.
Well, I mean, remember last year's Bathurst 1000, where he crashed out. No, he didn't crash out. He had that last corner bust up with Dane Liccardo after they had a puncture or something along those lines.
Of course, how could we forget? Last lap punch ups are a bit of a tradition. ASC.
It was a tradition as well for Townsville. I mean, Shane Van Gisbergen and Anton De Pasquale on the last corner. This just days ago, just yesterday, in fact.
What a classy sport it is. As we see our provisional leader Luke Rosella coming into the pits, so we expect he'll come out down around 4th or 5th place. And we've got another car coming in behind him of Dodger in the Jack Daniels car. Kurt Stenberg continues on for another lap and inherits the lead of the race.
Oh, this is a very complicated period of the
Pit exit looks good.
So nicely done from Ethan Warren, and he's got a 8-second lead now over his brother, who sits in second place.
Very well called there. Yeah, that was a very clean looking lap. It didn't. At no point did it look like he was in any risk of losing the car, which is good to see. And just very, as you said, just looked like it's glued to the racetrack. So, has managed to nail the setup for this race as Ethan Warren. Might need to hand that setup onto his teammate Kurt Stenberg for race number 2, I reckon. Kurt languishing down in 5th place. Let's have oh yeah, hey, like it's probably a little bit harsh. Let's we got 5 laps to go. Let's have a quick Apex rear wing ASC stock take. We've got Ethan Warren currently leading the race from Dane Warren, about 9 seconds between the two of them. 8 seconds back to Luke Rosella in 3rd place, who is still catching Dane Warren, but not with the huge bites that he was prior to the second pit stops. More just little nibbles. Colin Warwick in 4th place. He's up from his starting spot, as is Kurt Stenberg in 5th. They're both up as a result of Corey McFarlane being down 2 positions, currently down in 6th place, and just hasn't. After being very good right at the very start, managing to get up into 2nd place off the start, Corey's sort of just gone downhill from there, unfortunately. So, hoping for a better race 2 for Corey. Zach in 7th place, exactly where he started, which he'd probably be pretty satisfied with. Lachlan Burke also where he started in 8th place. Turmo also where he started in 9th place. And actually, I might stop the stock take, because I've noticed that these two are actually for position, and they are nuts to butts as they go through turns 11 and 12. So we might keep an eye on this little battle over the next couple of laps, see if anything else develops. But this is for position, and Turmo. Let's have a look. Turmo was about a second faster than Lachlan Burke last lap around. So Lachlan must have had a issue somewhere.
I think that issue is just called rear tyre grip, unfortunately for Lockie Burke. He looks like he's had a few moments where he's spun up the rear of the car and it looks like it's breaking traction. And both of these guys pit on lap 20, so both of these drivers have the same tyre quality, but it looks at the moment that Turmo is looking a lot smoother than the Napa Auto cars ahead of him as they come through turns 5 and 6 and into chicane.
Doesn't take too many lockups to really eat into the tyre performance. So you can see how much Turmo closed up there going through turns 7 and 8. And he just seems to have a lot more control over the car as they come on down into turn 11. The last couple of corners of the track is setting himself up for a good amount of slipstream down the start-finish straight. If he can hang close enough through the last corner, takes a much tighter line.
And we're just getting a great view from Turmo's perspective of Lockie Burke breaking traction at the rear through turn 11 and 12. Didn't quite get the good enough run out of turn 13 to make that run up the main straight, unfortunately for Turmo. So he'll have to sit in the wings again. It looked like Burke was just going a little deep that time around, but it was just a difference in line. But these guys got to get a bit of a motor on. They're actually a lap down from the leader at the moment, which means that they've only got 2 laps left.
It snuck up. So there is Dane Warren in the background. So Ethan Warren is ahead of these two, which is why second place man Dane Warren is behind them. And the gap now 13.5 seconds between Dane Warren and his brother Ethan. So really has been Ethan's race so far tonight. And Luke Rosella, that gap between Luke and Dane down to about 5 seconds. So I don't know if Dane's setup just starts eating his tyres after a little while, but he seems to lose pace very quickly when he does. Goes off a bit of a cliff. And that gap now down to 5 seconds between Dane Warren and Luke Rosella. Only a couple of corners as we see Turmo having another go, going very wide at the last corner.
He just got a little too deep there, did Turmo. Just a quick note on Dane. He's struggling in the middle sector. He was 1.4 seconds slower than Rosella last lap around. So that's something we might have to just keep a bit of an eye on, just to see if that keeps happening. That time, again, 1.4 seconds. So not quite quick enough for Rosella to be able to make the move, but it's going to be uncomfortable pretty quickly.
Yeah, we've got 1 3/4 laps or thereabouts remaining in this race. That gap now down to about 4 seconds between Dane Warren and Luke Rosella.
And I hope someone's mentioned to Liam Budd that he's going to take 2 pit stops just quietly, because this is the last lap that he's got a chance to do that. And if not, he's going to lose out on what should be a pretty good result for old Liam, old Bud.
Old Liam, old Bud, as he's currently getting blue flags for being in the way of Luke Rosella. So Luke would be wanting him to get out of the way quick sticks, and he's failing to do that, which Luke Rosella will be rather unhappy about, especially considering the pace that he had closing in on Dane Warren. And maybe a little bit rude there from Luke, but honestly, I can understand the frustration that had been building up. And Liam says, "No, I don't think I will take my second compulsory pit stop. I've decided that second pit stop is optional," and has continued on despite the fact that he needed to do that. So, unfortunately, I imagine that'll be a DQ there for Liam Budd, who has had a pretty decent race in terms of his finish, but you know that'll happen when you don't spend 38 seconds extra in the pits. We are on 10th place.
We are on the final lap, just by the way, and we've got Ethan Warren coming into the final sequence of corners. It really has been a stellar performance from Ethan tonight. He got the whole shot and managed to basically drive away. He withstood a little bit of pressure from his brother, but had his run of it the whole night. So race 1 tonight at Townsville goes the way of Ethan Warren for Trans-Tasman Racing, and stellar drive, and congratulations.
Yeah, and we've had a pass for second place in the last couple of corners. Luke Rosella snuck through on Dane Warren. I was about to say it was so close yet so far for Luke Rosella. He was about 1.4 seconds behind, and then looked like Dane just had a shocking run through turn 11, and Luke managed to sneak right up the inside and got that second position. So Dane losing out from second to third in the last corner. Let's see a replay of that. Just goes so very deep and actually hits the wall a little bit. Luke barely manages to pull up in time and steals that position. So I want to know what's going on. We're going to have to, I'm making a note to ask Dane what was going on with his setup in race number 1, because his car just seemed to have no tires towards the end there. But very well done to Luke for closing that gap down and getting the position done right at the very end. I reckon Dane might not have swapped tires actually at his second pit stop.
Yeah, maybe that's how he gained that advantage.
We saw that massive time advantage he had after the second round of pit stops, and he's now getting pushed home by Colin Warwick, so potentially didn't take nearly enough petrol either. But none of this to take away from Ethan Warren's masterclass performance in race number 1, coming home in first place by about 20 seconds in the end. So barnstorming run for Ethan Warren. Luke Rosella second, as we said. Dane Warren third. Colin Warwick came home in fourth, which he'll be happy about, with Kurt Stenberg fifth. Cora McFarlane in sixth place. Zach Baker in seventh. Lachlan Burke in eighth. Turmo ended up not being able to take that position, still finishes in ninth, and Liam Budd finishes in 10th, but we imagine that will be stripped away, in which case Steve Warwick finishes in 10th place, which just enforces what we've been saying. He's Mr. Consistency for Steve Warwick, getting top 10 finishes all over the place.
Just quickly on the Lockie Burke Turmo battle, we saw that I saw that in just the foreground as Rosella and Warren were coming across the line. The gap at the line was 0.2 of a second. They drag raced each other out of the final corner, and Burke just managed to hold on. So action all the way up and down the field in the latter stages of that race, and we can't escape Townsville without some late drama, can we, Madbird?
It seems that way, which again, which raises the question of why do I keep forgetting that I've commentated it? But I suppose we'll see next year whether I remember this, and perhaps the last second to last corner dive by Luke Rosella. Well, it wasn't even a dive really. The second to last corner overtake by Luke Rosella. Maybe that'll stick in my memory a bit more than previous races around the Ville, as I'm deciding to call it.
Oh, I don't like that.
We've got our good friend from Apex Rearwing, Roadhog, made a track once called Place City Circuit. And it was called Place City because he was telling some American friends that there's a town in Australia called Townsville, and they were like, "Well, that's like Townsville. That's like having a place called Place City." And so he made an excellent racetrack with that very name. So a lot of mockery about the name Townsville, and richly deserved, I feel.
Wow, you're making plenty of friends tonight, aren't you, Madbird?
Yeah, you know, I don't know anyone from Townsville as far as I know, and if I do, well, you know, they'd have to come over here anyway. So they're probably too busy snorkeling or snorting. If you listen to Woozy in our chat.
Oh gosh.
My goodness, though, that race sort of snuck up on us. We were talking with 10 laps to go. Oh, we don't really have too much to talk about. All the battles have eased off, and then it all happened in a rush right at the very end.
It is a bit like that with some of the longer endurance races. You kind of go through this little bit of a meandering period in the middle where everyone tries to sort their own race out, and then all of a sudden they start converging in weird spots. So I think Lockie Burke and Turmo should get an award for kind of incentivizing that last period of the race. And then whatever happened to Dane Warren really threw the cat amongst the pigeons in the very end of the race.
I've made a note to ask him, but thinking on it, he mustn't have taken tyres at the second pit stop to try to eke an advantage somehow, because I can't think how else he would have had such a short pit stop and then, you know, also have had such bad tyre life at the very end of the race. So, nevertheless, I'll be interested to hear his thoughts on why he made that decision, if that was the case.
And I guess that would make sense as well, because his first pit stop was on lap 5, so he basically ran a 30-lap stint on those tyres, and no wonder they were cooked by the end of it.
No wonder. Yeah, jeez. I forgot that he pit quite as early as he did. Bold strategy, Ethan. Let's see if it. Let's see how it plays out. Sorry. There's a bold strategy, Warren. I could have just said Warren and would have been safe, but I chose to pick a first name, and managed to get it wrong on a 50-50 split. So
that was your first mistake. So we've got
that's my first and only mistake for the night.
If only. So we've got a little bit of time before race 2, another 10-minute qualifying session and a shorter race, a 20-lap race. Any expectations for race 2 this evening, Madbird, after seeing what we've seen in race 1?
Oh, we've seen, especially at Darwin, Dane seems quite good at making setup changes between races that have drastic payoff. So I would expect him to do some tweaks and find a few tenths here or there or something and make it a bit more of a fight in race number 2. So hopefully that is the case, because as much as we've sort of been like, oh, you know, Dane just trotting off into the sunset for most of this season, that race it was sort of Ethan just trotting off into the sunset. So if we can get a battle like we saw for that one lap where they were side by side, if we can get that for most of the race, then, you know, we'll be laughing. But I reckon I would expect to see Corey McFarlane as well with a bit of a better run in race 2. I expected him to be up there for a bit longer than he was, and he seemed to just sort of fade towards the end of the race. So hopefully he can take the fight to the front runners a little bit more.
All clear. Go, go, go. The caution flag is out. Watch out, yellow flag. Caution. Watch your right. Clear. Alright, the crew is preparing for a pit stop this lap. On your left, yellow flag. Watch your mirrors, cars approaching. Watch your left. Clear left. Car right. Clear. Race control has warned us for cutting the track. Checkered flag. Car right. Clear right. The caution flag is out. Yellow flag.
Let's go! P6! Woo! P6, baby! Ah, P7. Okay, so that's Tamo's lap done. Okay, P7. Best qualifying effort. Alrighty, let's go. P7. Hope to God I don't get taken out. Was not expecting to be here, was expecting to be further down the back, but as we all know, things don't always work out like that. Should hopefully be in for a good race. Should hopefully be in for a top 10. Just want to try and save a little bit of fuel and just try and save some tyres. Just try and not get them too warm. Because with these tyres you can get them up to about 150, 160 degrees. Which is not the most ideal thing. But let's wait and see. Now I do have to do one compulsory pit stop this race. Last race was 35 laps and that was a CPS of 2, so compulsory pit stop of 2. This is only 1, which is good. Stay out the wall bend. So see if I can try and get a good start and just maintain my position and should be good to go. Alright, here we go.
Green flag. Car right. Hold your line. Clear right. Watch your right. Keep left. Clear.
Don't have the pace that Baker does.
Watch your right.
So I'm just going to let him go.
Keep left. Clear. On your right. Clear. Watch your right. Clear right. Right side. All clear. car right. All clear.
Tire temperature at the moment in the rear. Just does not want to turn in at the moment. Be okay though. A little bit loose then. Almost basically bouncing it off the curb there. Definitely need to be better through that section there. See, my goal is because I overfueled, which is fine, I can run longer and longer into this stint. It's just trying to keep these tyres cool is the only thing. That's going to be the issue, so I don't need to refuel, it's just tyres, which are fine, because they only take about 4 to 5 seconds, maybe even 10, just depends. So just trying to get these tyres to last as long as possible, so I can have fresh tyres towards the end, because then I should be a lot quicker than a lot of these guys at the moment, but until then it's just trying to nurse this car into a, trying to keep this car sliding too much. Now this is where the tyres struggle a lot. Especially the left rear, because that's where it just wants to slide. That was better through there. That's not better through there.
Left side, all clear. Watch out, yellow flag. On your right. Alright, the crew is preparing for a pit stop this lap. On your right. Still there. Clear. Pit crew is ready. Alright, nice and easy now. Hit your marks.
Stop, Ben. Pit stop.
Okay, we'll take that pit stop later. Okay, we'll be ready for you. We're ready for you on the pit road. In, right now.
Ideally, I'd like to try and jump probably Turmo.
Right side, clear.
Even if I can jump Cam, that'd be better. I don't think I will. Come on. No, he's gonna go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Car left.
Ooh.
Hold your line.
It's back here. Back here.
Keep right. Clear. All clear. Clear left.
It's okay.
Watch your right. Car right. Keep left. Hold your line. Keep left. Still there. Still there. All clear. Clear.
I reckon if I didn't have that spin, I'd be easily in the top 10. Still trying to hope that these guys' tyres fall off. At the moment, looks like I've got... No, it's better speed.
Car left. Hold your line. Keep right. All clear.
Really, Mitch? Really, Liam? Fucking frick.
Watch your right. On your right. Still there. Hold your line. All clear. On your right. Clear right.
The only way I'm going to catch Latino if he makes a mistake. Out of laps. Well, there's only 4 seconds between me and Latino. 3 laps to do it, 2 laps to do it. I think I got fresher tyres in him. There's 3 seconds between me and him. And if he has a spin or something, I'll get him. But if not, I think he's secured P10. Oh, moves out to pit again. If there's ever a time to make a mistake, it'd be now, mate. Make a mistake.
Last lap, make it count.
Come on, dude, make a mistake, you know you want it. dodges in the wall. Oh, it was okay.
Caution.
If I'd pitted maybe a couple laps earlier, and not had that spin, I would have had P10. Oh well, P11.
Checkered flag. That's the end of the session.
Oh mate, buddy caught up to me, but
Caution.
still not that bad. P10. Let's go. They're drifting in the supercar, boys.
Watch your left. Clear left. The caution flag is out.
Oh. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a fucking... Yeah, if I didn't have that spin, I'd probably be P10 or up there at least, but it is what it is, mate.